It is the most famous passage in the entire Bible. Read at more funerals, memorized by more people, whispered in more hospital rooms at 2 in the morning than any other 6 verses ever written. And most of us have heard it so many times that we have stopped actually hearing it. The words slide past, worn smooth by repetition. So today we are going to read Psalm 23 like it is the first time, slowly, the way you would if you had never heard it before. Because it was written by a man who had actually been a shepherd. Before David was a king, he was a boy, alone on the hills with a flock. And every single line of this psalm comes straight out of that life. He is not reaching for poetic images. He is telling you exactly what a shepherd does and exactly what a sheep needs. And there is a shift buried in the middle of it, so quiet that most people read right over it, that changes everything about what this psalm is really doing. Let's find it. 6 verses, the most beloved words ever written. Let's read them like the first time. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Stop on the first 3 words, because they are an outrageous claim. The Lord, the God who made the heavens, who named the stars, who holds the oceans in the hollow of his hand, is my shepherd. Not a distant ruler, not a force, a shepherd bent low over one flock, knowing each animal by name. David is saying that the God of all things relates to him with that kind of personal, hands-on, daily care. And then the conclusion he draws from it, I shall not want. Now this is widely misunderstood. It does not mean I will get everything I want. It means the opposite of grasping. It means I lack nothing I truly need. Because when the shepherd is good, the sheep does not have to worry about provision. It does not lie awake wondering where the next meal or the next safe place will come from. That is the shepherd's job, and the shepherd is good. So the whole psalm hangs on that first line. If the Lord is genuinely your shepherd, then need itself loses its grip on you. And there is something else hidden in that opening image. In the ancient world, shepherding was lowly, humble work, the job handed to the youngest, the overlooked, the boy nobody else wanted. David himself was the forgotten youngest son, left out with the sheep while his brothers were called in. And yet, this is the picture he reaches for to describe God. Not a king on a distant throne, but a shepherd down in the dirt, close enough to smell like the flock. And 1,000 years later, Jesus would pick up this exact image and make it his own. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. The shepherd David is trusting here is the very one who would one day come down into the field and die for his sheep. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Here is the first place. Knowing real sheep changes everything. A sheep will not lie down unless 4 things are true at once. It cannot be hungry. It cannot be afraid of predators. It cannot be in conflict with the other sheep. And it cannot be tormented by flies and pests. If even one of those is wrong, the sheep stays on its feet, anxious, exhausted. So when David says the shepherd makes him lie down, he means the shepherd has quietly removed every single one of those fears first, fed the flock, guarded it, settled it, protected it, so that rest becomes possible. The rest is a gift the shepherd engineers. And in the dry hill country of Israel, green pastures were not lying around everywhere. They were rare, and they had to be found. A good shepherd knew where the hidden green places were and led the flock to them. The sheep never stumbled onto rest by accident. They were brought to it. Even the green pasture is the shepherd's planning on the sheep's behalf, long before the sheep ever arrives. And then, still waters. This is not poetry either. Sheep are genuinely afraid of moving water. A fast stream can soak their wool, pull them under, drown them. A sheep will go thirsty rather than drink from a rushing current. So the good shepherd finds, or makes, the quiet places, the calm pools where the flock can finally drink without fear. Think about what that says about God. He does not just lead you to water, He leads you to water you are not afraid of. He knows exactly what unsettles you, and he leads you around it. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. He restoreth my soul. Shepherds have a word for a sheep that has rolled onto its back and cannot get up. A cast sheep. Its legs flail in the air, it cannot right itself, and if the shepherd does not find it and set it back on its feet, it will die there, helpless, in a matter of hours. To restore a sheep is to go searching for the one that has fallen, lift it, and stand it back up. That is what David says God does for the soul, finds you when you are cast down and cannot get up on your own, and gently sets you back on your feet. And then he leads you in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. A good shepherd knows the right trails, which paths lead to water and pasture, and which lead to cliffs and poison. He leads the flock along the good ones. But notice the reason David gives: for his name's sake. The shepherd's own reputation is on the line. If a sheep is lost, it is the shepherd who is blamed. So God leads you rightly, not only because he loves you, but because his own name is staked on getting you safely home. Your security rests on his reputation, not your performance. And there is a second layer in that phrase, paths of righteousness. It means the right trails through the hills, but it also means the morally right way, the path of doing what is good. God leads you not only toward green pasture, but toward becoming the kind of person who belongs there. The shepherd is not only getting you somewhere, he is shaping who you are on the way. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Here it is, the shift most people read straight past. Listen to the first 3 verses again. He maketh me, he leadeth me, he restoreth. David is talking about God, the way you would describe someone to a friend. But the moment he steps into the valley of the shadow of death, the language changes. It is no longer he, it becomes thou. Thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff. Do you see what happened? In the darkest place in the whole psalm, God stops being a subject David talks about and becomes a person he talks to. In the valley, theology turns into presence. You do not need a description of the shepherd when you are in the dark. You need to feel him next to you. And so you stop saying he and start saying you. That is what the valley does to faith. It drives you from talking about God to talking to him. And look at the comfort offered. Not the removal of the valley. David walks through it, not around it. The promise is not, you will avoid the dark place. It is, thou art with me in it. Even the phrase, shadow of death, carries hope. A shadow has to be cast by something, and a shadow cannot hurt you. There is no danger in a shadow that there isn't already light behind it. And the rod and the staff. The rod was the shepherd's club, his weapon to drive off the wolves and the lions. The staff was his crook, to pull a wandering sheep back from the edge. Defense against what is hunting you, and rescue from your own wandering, both, the whole way through. And David is not speaking in the abstract. As a shepherd, he had literally walked his flock through places like this. The deep, narrow ravines between the lowland winter pastures and the high summer grazing. Gorges where the sun barely reached, where a flash flood could come without warning, and predators waited in the shadows. There was no way up to the green heights except straight through the dark cut in the rock. He knew the only road to the high pastures led through the valley, and he knew the sheep made it through every time, because the shepherd went first, and the shepherd stayed close. That is the promise. The valley is not a detour and not a punishment. It is the road to higher ground, and you do not walk it alone. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. And now the picture changes entirely. David has taken us from the field to the table, God is no longer only the shepherd, he is the host. And what a strange, defiant scene it is. A table set, a feast prepared, in the presence of mine enemies. Not after the enemies are gone, while they are still watching. God's provision for you is so secure that you can sit and eat in peace, with the threat still in plain sight. The enemies do not get a vote, they can only watch you be cared for. And there is a shepherd's meaning under the host's table too. Before a flock grazed the high summer plateaus, the tablelands, the shepherd would go up ahead, alone, and prepare them, pulling out the poisonous weeds, scouting for snakes and the dens of predators, checking the very ground the sheep would later feed on. The table was prepared before the sheep ever set foot on it. So when God spreads a table for you in the presence of your enemies, it is not a reckless gesture. It is ground he has already walked, already cleared, already made safe before you ever arrived. Thou anointest my head with oil. In the field, a shepherd poured oil over a sheep's head to protect it from the maddening flies and to heal its scrapes and wounds. At a table, a host poured oil on an honored guest's head as a sign of welcome and gladness. Both meanings are true here. God heals what is hurting you and honors you as a treasured guest at the very same time. My cup runneth over, not filled to the brim, overflowing, spilling, more than enough. This is the language of a God whose care does not run out and does not run thin. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Goodness and mercy shall follow me. That English word, follow, is far too gentle for what David actually wrote. The Hebrew word means to pursue, to chase, to hunt down. It is the same word used for an army in pursuit of an enemy. David is saying that God's goodness and mercy are not trailing politely behind him, they are chasing him down every single day of his life, relentless, refusing to let him outrun them. Most of us live as if we are running from our failures, with judgment on our heels. David says, no, what is on your heels, if the Lord is your shepherd, is goodness and mercy, pursuing you all your days. Picture them, if you like, as two faithful sheepdogs the shepherd sends out behind the flock, not to threaten a single sheep, but to keep gathering the strays, nudging every last one toward home, refusing to let one be lost on the way. And it ends where every sheep's journey is meant to end, home. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The shepherd does not lead the flock in circles. Every green pasture, every still water, every dark valley has been leading somewhere, to the house of the Lord, to dwell with him. Not for a night, not for a season, but forever. The journey has a destination, and the destination is the presence of God that never ends. 6 verses. Read them again as a whole, and you can see the shape of an entire life in them. A shepherd who provides, so you lack nothing you truly need. Rest you could not give yourself. Water you are not afraid of. Restoration when you are cast down and cannot rise. The right paths guaranteed by his own name. A valley you walk through and not alone, where God stops being someone you talk about and becomes someone you talk to. A table spread in front of your enemies, a cup that overflows. Goodness and mercy chasing you down every day. And at the end of all of it, home forever. That is why this psalm has been read over so many graves and whispered in so many dark rooms. It does not pretend the valley isn't real. It looks the shadow of death straight in the eye and says, I will fear no evil. Not because the valley is empty, but because I am not walking it alone. So if you are in a green pasture today, rest there and thank the shepherd who made it. And if you are in the valley today, if you are reading this from inside the shadow, then hear the one thing this psalm exists to tell you. You do not have to be afraid. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because the shepherd is with you. His rod is drawn against what hunts you. His staff is ready to catch you, and goodness and mercy are already running you down. He has not lost track of a single one of his sheep, and he has not lost track of you. The shepherd boy who wrote these words grew up to be a king, and then, 1,000 years on, a greater son of David stood up and said, "I am the good shepherd," and proved it by laying down his own life to go and find the lost sheep himself. So when you read, "The Lord is my shepherd," you are not reading wishful poetry. You are reading the job description of the one who came and bled to make every word of it true. The shepherd who leads you also keeps you. And the next psalm we open says it directly. Psalm 121. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. The God who walks you through the valley never once closes his eyes on the road. The Psalter has more to give.